Larry and Sergey almost got acquired.
Internet, and we'll have a conversation about Google, and we'll have a conversation about search and privacy.
Did you market test that?
No.
Okay.
I didn't want it to.
This diploma that I have here, just like the one you're about to get.
Well, it's actually a great argument for pure research, because we didn't start out to do a search engine at all.
Where do you go when you hear puzzling information for the first time and want to avoid coming across as a dunderhead? Of course, it's Google. For more than 2 decades, Google has supplied us with bodies of knowledge that we never knew existed. Like most great things in the world, Google came as a dream to no other person than Larry Page. This genius started the project called Google in College as a master's student at Stanford University. You probably don't even know who the founder of Google is, until now. But don't worry, you are about to know everything about the iconic figure who has not only made information easier to reach, but for business owners to reach their clients faster. A lot of people only enjoy the service of Microsoft, but they have yet to learn the brain behind its Bill Gates. The same applies to iPhones, MacBooks, and other Apple products. Most users only know who started the company once they need to know. The good news is that this set of people do not have to be in the dark for long, as they can log on to Google and type tersely worded text into the search bar, and voila, all the information they need would be displayed within a few seconds. Long before now, one would have to pore over several pages of a book on a certain subject before finding much needed information. But today with Google, one has tons of information at one's fingertip to use as one pleases. Isn't this amazing? Larry Page sure deserves his flowers. In this video, we will examine the life of this innovator who has made our lives relatively easier. Was he born to rich parents? Or is he one of those people with grass to grace stories? We are about to find out. Larry Page arrived in a bundle of joy to his parents on March 26, 1973 in Lansing, Michigan. While both his parents came from strikingly different backgrounds, both of Page's parents are computer gurus. So it's no surprise that he grew up to become the mastermind behind one of the most groundbreaking inventions the world has ever seen. Page's father, Carl Victor Page Sr., spent many years as a computer science professor before earning his PhD from the prestigious University of Michigan. Widely considered to be an important pioneer in the fields of computer science and artificial intelligence, Page's father has been achieving amazing things for decades, even back when the discipline was still relatively unknown. It's clear that Page was surrounded by incredible intellect and talent from a very young age, which undoubtedly played a role in shaping his own remarkable achievements. While some kids would go on to choose a different path from their parents, Larry Page was one of those extremely keen kids who are highly observant of their environment, although in his defense, there is no way he could have escaped being what he turned out to be, because their home was always filled with different books and magazines on science and technology. He didn't stand a chance. Coupled with being smart, at the age of 6, he became interested in computers, and he started getting curious about the makeup of machines. That was the beginning of the end of many gadgets in their homes, though he wasn't alone. He had the steadfast guidance of his older brother, with whom he disassembled and assembled machines and gadgets. From an early age, it was clear that he was going to build an engine when he grew up, but no one had any way of knowing the magnitude of the impactful innovation he would come up with. With his zeal for machines, one would have thought he would go on to become an engineer, but well, the future can't always be predicted. Page is a man of many talents, for he graduated from the University of Michigan in 1995 with an honor-clad degree in computer science. Shortly after, he enrolled at Stanford University for his Masters of Science in the same course he did for his first degree in 1998. Those perks are associated with being a smart lad. Page has always been full of ideas that are nothing short of genuine. You should know that Google was not his first innovation. For instance, to the surprise of his instructors at school, he was the first to turn in an assignment on word processors when he was less than 10 years old. That was just the beginning. While at the university, he experimented with bricks made from Legos and created an inkjet printer. This was developed from his thought of printing large posters at really low prices. Someone or some people must have been extorting students, so he saw a need to alleviate people's problems. Or maybe he just wanted to bring some novelty to the area. Larry Page is a born leader. He displayed this trait when he became the president of the Beta Epsilon chapter of the Eta Kappa Nu Honor Society after serving as a member for a considerable time. Also, the Michigan University Maize and Blue Solar Car Team in 1993. His impact did not take flight with Google. Even while in the university, he proposed that the school transport system, mostly buses, should be replaced with a personal rapid transit system. The idea was a unique and daring one that that was proposed to have vehicles without drivers, a vehicle that would effortlessly convey students down points A to B. In all honesty, it would have been understandable why the school would have some reservations about it. After adding a Masters of Science to the academic collection, he started his PhD in a computer science program at Stanford University. Larry Page met his now business partner and co-founder of Google in Stanford, Sergey Brin. They shared the same chemistry and technology. It was long before they agreed to work on Page research. Also, the duo worked on a research paper titled The Anatomy of a Large-Scale Hypertextual Web Search Engine. It looked very much like they were onto something. At the time, their paper gathered so much traction that almost everyone needing scientific documents had to download them to enhance their knowledge about the subject. However, more was needed with the popularity they seem to have garnered. So, in a bid to convert the backlink data amassed by Backrub's web crawler into something more important and worthwhile for a particular web page, Page and Brin developed what is called a page rank algorithm. During this experiment, it struck them that what they had arrived at could be used to develop a search engine whose usefulness would far outweigh any of such machines they had ever known. Behold the birth of the world's most famous search engine. The algorithm built by the duo was dependent on a certain technology that analyzed the relevance of the backlinks that linked one web page to the other. Page and Brin were pumped and ready more than ever. With a new surge of adrenaline, Page Hostel Room was converted into a machine laboratory of some sort. And to keep their newfound love going, they took spare parts from affordable computers to create equipment that could be used to connect what is now called the nascent search engine with Stanford University Broadband Campus Network. That was a bold move, but they pulled it off because there is always a way when there is a will. Later, Page's room became filled with gadgets, and it became difficult to continue machine coupling and experiments. And instead of complaining and putting their dreams to reset, Brin's room became their second laboratory where the test run for their search engine designs on the web took place. Unfortunately, much more than they had anticipated, the growth of their project was so rapid that it caused significant problems in the computing infrastructure of Stanford. Well, that was just a little hitch in their dreams, and they would not be deterred no matter what. In a bid to set up a simple search page for would-be users, Page and Brin used the former's basic HTML programming technique, since they needed a web page developer to come up with something visually sophisticated. Still, on the birth of their dreams, they started using any computer spare parts they could lay their experimental hands upon to fabricate the important computing power to deal with various searches from numerous users. As time went by, their engine grew in popularity among their friends at Stanford, and soon enough, the gospel spread throughout the whole college. With this many workloads on the server, it became clear that they needed additional servers to process the barrage of questions their users had. Funding took a lot of work. Page and Brin pooled funds from family, friends, and faculty members to buy servers, and from then, they rented a garage in Menlo Park. They also got help from Andy Bechtolsheim, the co-founder of Sun Microsystems, who issued a check for $100,000. Then in August of 1996, the first version of Google, which was still on Stanford University's website, was made available to internet users. In the beginning, the drive behind the development of Google was purely the need to meet people's needs and be part of something great in the world of technology, as they were already successful at prototyping and enhancing. But as time went by, they needed to start monetizing it. But how? 3 years into the existence of Google, it took its first big leap at monetizing its search business by inaugurating Google AdWords. At first, they started with the cost per thousand model, CPM, where people who needed their products and services to reach more customers for increased conversion paid for impressions instead of clicks. Before long, it was evident that AdWord couldn't cater to the needs of their many customers seeking a wider reach. So with little to no choice, they had to start altering and revamping the AdWords platform to give a variation of the search engine algorithms. In the same stretch of time, AdWords morphed into an automated PPC, pay-per-click, ad auction, which subsequently brought the notion of applicability to digital advertising. It was a win-win situation as Google could now finally reap their long hard work and further enhance the usage of the search engine. At the same time, business owners with the advantage of the internet could reach their customers and clients in great numbers. Until now, AdWords still generates a lot of automatic revenue that fuels Google's activities. Later on, to bring more innovation to Google and stop it from going into quick obsolescence, AdSense was introduced. This invention enabled anyone with a website to access Google's advertising index. As a result of this, Google was effectively set up for preeminence in digital promotion. With all the dollars that have started entering the coffers of Google in quick succession, it is easy to assume the founders would rest on their oars. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. They were warming up. After including the ad pieces, which were done to aid searches, Google mustered all the enthusiasm it could and started making innovations at a pace that almost came across as aggressive. In 2003, there was Google Blooper, and then in 2005, Google Maps was introduced. Later on, Google Finance came on board in 2006. These innovations projected forward Page and his co-founder. According to Bloomberg Forbes in March 2023, Page stands as the 5th richest person in the world, just a little below the likes of Elon Musk, Bernard Arnault, etc. Currently, he is worth $124 billion. Being an astute businessman, some of them include Elon Musk's Tesla and flying car startups owned by Kitty Hawk and Opener. With Page's innovation, he was recognized and awarded the Marconi Prize in 2004. Page is dedicated to excellence and sees innovation as a core part of Google's mission. So he always encourages his employees to get creative and be better than they used to be. And it shows how much energy and skill they put into improving their products. Page chose his parents' path in computer science and technology, and he pulled a storm at the many useful innovations that everyone now uses. You must require Google Mail if you need something to search on Google. Page made this much impact through his ingenuity. We're curious to hear from you. What have you learned from Larry Page's inspiring story? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. We can't wait to hear your insights. And if you're hungry for more stories about successful innovators like Page, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel.